Okay, so we're going to do 3.8, number 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think. Yes, of Ready, Set, Go. And I don't know why this is tiny, so let me make it a tad bigger. It says, refer to the graph of the equation and then insert greater than, less than, or equal to in each statement to make it the sentence true. So for number 5, they want you to compare f of 0 and g of 0. So f is the green guy, g is the blue guy. And when they say f of 0 and g of 0, they're really asking you to compare. They're really asking you to compare the y values at 0, right? So for example, this is g of 0, right here. Yeah, right there. And this is f of 0 right there. And they're just asking who's bigger. So is f of 0 bigger than g of 0? Is it less than 0 or equal to? Well, f of 0 is winning because he's taller. Okay. And don't read too much into this. Don't be all like, oh my gosh, Miss Johnson thinks that taller people win. Well, in this case, it does, because this isn't representing people. This is representing, I don't know what it's representing. Maybe it's representing revenue. So the higher the number is, in this case, the greater it is. So here, now you're comparing f of 2. Is green 2 taller than g, which is blue 2? So again, I'm going to just use a different color. So I'm going to go to 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to highlight both of my blue function and my green function. And it looks like green f is still winning, right? He's still taller. Number 7 says g of -1 and f of -1 and g of -1. So now you want me to go there. So I'll change colors again. So I'm comparing that guy to that guy, right? Yet again, green guy still winning. Wait, what? Isn't the 2 just 2? Isn't f of 2? Are you talking about this right here? More on the right. Oh my gosh, I did not read it correctly. You are so right. I am so wrong. Okay, sorry, we're still sick here. We're working with it. Okay, let me erase everybody because I just did that wrong. Just pretend that all didn't happen, except for the pink stuff. The pink stuff was right. Dark pink stuff, it's right. Thanks for having my back. Okay, so f of 2 and g of 2, I did not read my table correctly. Aren't you glad? Aren't you just glad that I do things wrong so you can see that math teachers do things wrong? Yes. So you can't really see what's happening outside the window, but they give you a little bit of a clue here, right? They give you a little bit of a clue, right? And so what you kind of see is that green surpasses blue. So that means green will technically be higher. Because remember, whatever happens outside this window, you could assume that as it exits the window, it's going to continue. So it is true that it is still right. But it wasn't right because of how I did it, because that was wrong. It's more right because of if you actually look at 2, more to the right. Thank you for having my back there. Okay, so now we know that -1 isn't where I thought it was. Let's move it to where it is. So at -1, it looks here and here. And it looks like blue is taking the lead. So f of -1 is less than g of -1, right? And last but not least, this is a weird one. So they want you to compare f of 1 to g of -1. So I'm going to use a completely different color. So I want you to compare f of 1. So that's f of 1, which is the green guy. So this point right here, do you guys all see him right here? To g of -1. So go here and go to the blue. So this guy right here. So then you could see who is taller. And then in this case, g wins. So f of -1 is less than. So what students get confused on is they think that f of 1 is some weird concept. It's not. It's really just saying that I want to know what your y is when x is 1. And in this case, it was 0, right? And then I want to know what g of -1 is. So I'm following the dark blue function here at -1. Well, that's just 1. So 0 is less than 1. That's all they're saying. Okay. That makes sense. So someone asked a question. Okay, yeah. So notice how here this is a pretty good comparison of two functions. One looks like it's a cubic, the other one looks like it's a quadratic, and it's pretty neat because at one point, the quadratic is winning, and then they switch places, and they switch places again, and they switch places again, which is like kind of like how a race goes, right? Like no one is completely winning the whole time, or a game, right? Who's in the lead? All right, hope that makes sense to you.